So I'll kick it off with a couple of questions. So I'm wondering, how did you learn this music?
What music? Is it jazz music or what kind of music?
Well, this jazz music.
The jazz music,
yes.
Of course.
Yeah, well, in my case, I was into, my dad was a great drummer, and he introduced me to this work, to the music. And, well, we are so close to the United States, and all that wind is always coming, from the north, and we have great jazz players like Mitchel or Hilario, Duran, and many more artists, Arturo Sandoval, Paquito de Rivera, and I was too young at that time, and I said, okay, I got a dream, and I would like, and someday I want to play with those guys, and that made me feel like they inspired me, and here I am, trying to do the best what I got.
Anything to add?
What I can say is that the way they say I started listening to jazz when I was a little kid, when I was 8, 9 years old. And it was at the same time that I started playing by ear, the piano. I was very lucky because my grandfather, he had a huge collection of recordings in my home of all kind of music, classical music and jazz, classical Cuban music. So since I was really a kid, I started listening to music from Harry James to Vladimir Horowitz to Duran to the Cuban classics like Frank Emilio and Ernesto Lacuna. But I was very interested in jazz music since I was in the high school. When I was in the National Conservatory of Music, that's where I started my obsession for jazz music.
So every once in a while I have someone send in a question, someone in the field. So a good friend of mine is a jazz musician, Chris Butcher, and I asked him, well, Chris, what do you wish someone would ask you as a musician? And he said, well, I always wish someone would ask me what my purpose was as an artist. So what is your purpose as an artist, as a musician?
Well, there is too many. Music for me is, it's something serious, but at the meantime, it's something to relax my brain, my body, And in my case, I take the music, on that kind of things are happening all the time, I'm talking about selfish things, but honestly, it's not my what I'm expecting from that, And talking about the purpose, I don't think I have too many. Sorry, I'm a little bit around your question, but I do my things without purpose, I don't know.
Yeah, my purpose as an artist is, I don't know, because music for me is like the era I live. And I live with music. If I won't be a musician, I don't know what I will be, And the purpose as an artist is play my music all over the places, all over the world, and to express my artistry, my music. to everybody can listen of from here where I live and all over the place. This is my main purpose, you know.
But how did your music change when you moved to Toronto? Or did it change at all?
It changed a bit. It changed a bit because when we came here to Canada, I'm talking about we, but
Yeah, the same case.
It's the same case. I don't know if I meant these things on the same way, but here in Toronto, it's like in North America, we have we get a lot of influence of every culture that are standing here in the city, like a lot of music, you know, all over the places. Like, and I have been in contact with Jewish music and with Chinese music, Arabic, Latin.
Yeah.
Latin America, you know, all this influence, I'm that impressed in some way that my way to make music. Not only jazz, no? It's just all this phenomenon of influence that I'm having since I just a kid. And it's really nice.
No, we're really lucky. We have the whole world in one city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Yeah.
But on the same wavelength, do you think that Toronto ghettoizes music that isn't considered mainstream? I mean, if you're a Latin jazz musician, what are your options really? You play at Lula, and will you end up playing at Massey Hall? There is a little bit of limitations, or maybe you don't think there is.
We're pushing to do all these things. Playing in Duran and playing on the corner hall and playing everywhere, and we're pushing.
Yeah.
I was on every looking. I have been playing in big places like that, at the corner hall. I'm gonna have a concert there. I'm going to hold next month with the Amhed Symphony. And so it's what you were talking about before is our purpose as an artist.
In my case, I haven't played yet with my own project. Because I started my project. It's a very young project, but I got the. Fortunately, I got calls, and as a side musician, yeah, I play for different big guys here, and that's, I think it's one more opportunity, you know, to share stage and share music, you know, and well, we all around.
Hey, maybe you don't know, but I don't know about it. This guy here is one of the main drummers in the city, like the young guys that really we have to count on him to.
Thank you so much.
Those things here are really at least for me, I'm really fortunate to have him here in the city. He and some other great Cuban musicians that I'm counting with, you know, and this is something great. It happened when I came here 16 years ago. All kinds of at the beginning, but this young guys that are coming.
Thank you.
I hope there will be coming more here in the city.
Yeah.
No, that's great. But do you think that there is an impact from being isolated from Cuba when you're trying to still make Cuban jazz, but you're away from the origin country of the music?
Not really. It's our roots. We have that on our blood, you know. And Hilario?
We have our roots. On the contrary, we came here. As I said before, we are enrich our way of making music with all this influence. Once in a while we go back where we come from,
Yeah.
and we charge the batteries, And after we come
And
back here,
we reset brains, you know.
we reset and we come back here and we continue our thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Hilario, do you want to tell us a bit more about the suite Afro-Cubana that you wrote for the TSO?
Yes.
Yes.
Sinfonia Afro-Cubana.
Yeah.
It's not sweet. Yeah, it's first I have to say that I was very blessed and very lucky to have big commission to write this piece for the symphony, and thanks to the Gerber family that I also I'm so thankful for them to bring commission to write this piece. And to write a piece like that is 18 minutes of music, a 3 movement, and it's a long and intense process, very long, and no less is I use the technique of all the composer they do, like compose melodies, do variations, but with the difference that maybe for me when I start doing the kind of work, I sit in the desk and I write the music, but when I left the desk and the piano, I continue working in my mind. But I was writing and it takes me forever. It takes me forever until once in a while it's not what I'm trying to say is that it's almost. I don't know one instant I'm thinking about anything else than the thing that I'm doing. It's the way I'm putting together all these melodies and all this influence that I get since I was an early musician, and try to put in paper and combine with all my roots mostly. I am extremely blessed and happy that I got this.
Is there anything that you really want us to notice when we listen to the Symphony Afro-Cubana? Anything you really want the listener to take away from it?
Well, everybody remember the melodies that I compose. This is the main goal of a composer: try to impress and try to impress the people that what you're working for. And this is the main goal for every composer. That remember the melodies. Make people to remember what you did. I want when the people leave the theater, I want them to sing the melodies I wrote.
I'm sure they will.
Okay.
Well, I'll be there if nothing else. I'll sing the melodies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about some questions from you all? What do you want to know? Tony?
So I was a minor musician at some point, and I'm very curious about when you've performed, and probably what would you say was your most memorable performance and why, and how you could sense that the crowd was feeling when you were playing, or how you were performing, and as a musician, how do you seek to recreate that? So it's kind of a two-part question: your most memorable performance, and then how do you recreate that?
Oh, I don't know. I have too many memorable performances, and I don't know if. What I can say is I'm very happy when I play. When I sit in the piano and play, it's the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah.
Where I'm playing, because I'm playing with a wonderful musician, and as a side man today, and
It's an honor.
I respect him very much, and because great composer too, and it's a memorable moment when you sit and play, and you can play, you can do anything, and after get the recognition of the audience is the most wonderful thing that you can have in your life. And I have so many great memories. Like this, I have been playing so many places, big places, small places, but the same. I have been very lucky that I have no recognition of the audience. I don't know if it's answering your question, but it's what it is.
No, I mean, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, but I cannot name one of the memorable moments because I have been so many places.
So then the second part is just the connection.
The what?
Like the connection
And the
with your
connection.
audience.
And the
How do
connection.
you feel it? How does it feel? That's a
The
hard
connection
question.
with the audience is important.
Yeah.
It's because you can do complex music, you can do simple music, you can do. But if the people don't move, you're not doing nothing. The people have to motivate the people. You have to. And listen, you see the people doing this or I don't know, and make them move. Even
Right.
that's what my more made for that's what I was saying before about the compositions, you know. There has to be a connection between the artist and the artist and the audience.
Yeah, I'm just curious. A question for both of you. Besides yourselves, of course, who's your favorite jazz musician?
Well, we have a lot of them favorite jazz musicians. It's hard to say.
You have to say because I don't know, man, because we keep listening. We keep listening, jazz musicians all over.
Yeah.
Every day, and we get a lot of information. Every day appears someone new. You know, so you maybe I was listening some great drummers, and after appear another one. Oh, I like this guy.
Yeah.
And I know that song. But I have certain period of time during my life that I have been listening to different musicians. And that's what I said. I received influence from all of the greats, you know.
It's hard to say one.
I know it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really difficult to say, you know.
But maybe one or a couple who maybe have inspired you the most. I mean, at least in the what you're doing now today. I mean, major influences for you guys.
Yeah, in my case, since I was a teenager, I have different influence for pianist. Different pianist. I was a pianist for Edward Garner. I made a big influence. He was the one with me that influence. And another guy was a Cuban pianist, Frank Emilio Flynn. He was a Cuban pianist. He was blind. And he was one of the first pianists that I heard playing Afro Cuban jazz. And it was wonderful. And I think this was the guy that I get most of the influence since I was young. And after that, I got other influence like Chucho Valdez and Guillermo Salvador. And as a pianist, I got influence from McCoy Tyner, Keith Jarrett, Herbie Hancock, and some others. And I have certain period of time that I was listening to one person, and after I moved to another person, and like this. I have been around my life.
Thank you.
Is when you used to be young,
like younger musicians, would you ever experience like butterflies in your stomach or nervousness? You go on the stage, you're like all nervous. How would you overcome that? Because as a young musician, usually people get really nervous before they go on the stage, and you know, by the time they feel the vibes of the audience, you may have screwed up one song or whatever.
I don't think so. There was some important performance, one more than another, but I never felt like nervous. I don't know, like maybe sometimes.
In some point, in my case, sometimes it's good to
be nervous.
that happens, you know, because that makes you feel more comfortable and crazy with the craziest ideas, you know. Yeah, it's like you need to have a little child inside your body to express all you guys. I'm trying to. Well, I don't know if I'm right with that question, but that's the way it is, you know. When that little child escapes from your body, I think we're there, you know. It's the same in the stage.
Yeah, what is happening to me is like there are some performances, and there are some acts, and I am more worried before I sit in the piano in the preparation or the thing that I have to do. That's the hard part. When you're preparing for a concert, but when I sit in the piano, it's only words disappear. I play whatever I have to do. You know?
So is the key preparation? If you're 100% prepared, then there shouldn't be.
Yeah, I get all the stress before I sit in the piano. But when I sit in the piano, that disappears. Yes.
I think there was a question in the back.
So I'll stand up so you can hear me from back here. So you're getting a question from someone who has no musical talent whatsoever. I can't play anything, I can't sing. But I have to speak for a living, I have to persuade people to pay attention to what I'm saying. And I'm wondering how that relates to a musician who performs. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you.
Now, I find I get a tremendous amount of satisfaction from preparing in advance and knowing exactly what I'm going to say. I have to satisfy myself. And I could almost speak to a wall and I would get as much pleasure from it as I could speaking to an audience. But when I speak to the audience and I have to watch them decide if they are following me, if they're not following me, and how I manipulate them in a sense and respond to them, there's even more satisfaction comes from that process.
Yeah.
It's partly self-affirmation, and maybe a little bit feeling so I've got power over people. And I wonder how that relates to you as a musician, because I assume that when you practice, when no one's listening to you, you're getting almost as much pleasure as when you perform. And yet there's probably an additional pleasure that comes from watching your. So I guess my question to you is, can you relate to what I'm saying? Is it similar for a musician? That you probably modulate what you're playing in turn to the response you get from the audience. Do you feel that you have some kind of affirmation, self-affirmation, and a little bit of an ego trip, a little bit of power over who you are dealing with that gives you an element of pleasure? And I guess what I'm wondering is how much of your experience as performing as musicians connects to the same way that I'm expressing myself as a speaker. Even though I've got no musical talent whatsoever, I'm wondering if there's sort of a similar expressing yourself through a different venue.
Well, so point is the same. It's the same.
It's just a bit of the same.
Yeah, so point.
How much do you rechange what you're doing in response to what you sense from the audience as you're playing? Does it make a difference?
Well, sometimes, you know, that depends because sometimes you have to play in places that the audience was already there and they didn't know who's coming to say something. Let's put it that way, to say something. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to deal with that problem because you never know how they can put a reaction, and well, sometimes it's good, sometimes bad. But when you have when people are coming to your music or your speech, whatever you have, it's the same thing, you know. We have to express, and I think at some point it's the same.
Do you enjoy performing more than
we don't have to convince people.
Yeah.
But it's the same.
In my case, I enjoy more performing than playing than talking. When I have to stand up and talk to the audience. That's the hardest part of the job.
Yeah.
And there are some artists, also probably because there are no English. There are no English speakers like that. This is not our first language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in my case, it's kind of hard, but I have been, all my life I have been getting a little bit more experience every day. Doing this, but I feel more comfortable playing, and I feel that I get more contact with the audience when I play than when I talk.
Wow.
And that changed from some artists to others. There are some artists that they have more talent to entertain and talk and connect with the audience to another. And also there are some artists that they can talk too much, but when they play, it's a different story. You know what I mean? And it's like this.
All right, well, that's all the time we have. We have to let you get on stage.
Right.
So stick around.